I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So I know we're talking on the base of like dating, right? You wouldn't date someone that's promiscuous. But let's just say like you had a really close friend that's a girl.
Sure.
How are you going to feel about her being promiscuous? Like, are you like, how does that affect your feelings of your friendship and who she is as like a person?
I don't know if I'd be friends with a show.
You think it devalues them as a person?
As a friend, possibly, yes.
And what if she had a couple one-night stands? That's just what she does. Is that okay? Or...
But bro, look, you gotta understand, I'm in my mid-30s.
Yeah.
Like, friendship is not a priority for me here and there.
And they have
but
one-night stands and you're still friends with them, so you could probably be friends with a woman who has a couple one-night stands, I'd say.
So if I'm like contemplating having a friendship with a woman and this friendship hinges on if she gets a boyfriend or gets married, the friendship could be strong, but if that friendship's going to be cut off because her boyfriend, who I think rightfully is going to have precedence over my friendship with her, why invest my time and energy into a friendship when there's like going to be a point when she gets married, there's going to be an impropriety.
Here's the truth. Nobody wants to say out loud. Before we dive in, drop a comment. Are modern men more delusional, or is it the ladies? Hit like and subscribe so you don't miss what we expose next. Women still don't get it. Men are not signing up to be your forever buddy while you shop around for the guy you really want. The so-called friend zone is not some cozy neutral space. It's a holding pattern where one person quietly hopes for more while the other keeps all the benefits of male attention without giving anything back. Think about it. Men aren't offering time, energy, and protection because they just love being your emotional support pet. Biology and history wired men to pursue, to protect, and to pair. When a man invests in you, there's an underlying instinct that's deeper than let's just hang out. And every time a woman tries to convince herself that friendship with a guy who clearly wants more is healthy, it almost always ends with resentment. He feels used. She feels confused when he eventually pulls away. This isn't toxic masculinity. It's basic human nature. The uncomfortable reality, a man who sticks around as a platonic placeholder isn't a friend. He's either waiting for his shot or slowly checking out. That's why these friend zone relationships almost never last.
Be a bitch, and if you do not straight up confront them to their face because you don't feel like dealing with their bullshit, you become the bad guy.
I know that I broke up with him. I get it. I really do. But he didn't even fight for me. Yeah, it's been 2 days. He didn't even call.
You guys in a relationship?
Yeah. No.
Oh. Okay, well, you say yeah, you say no.
We are not. And I told him that I didn't see it going any further.
Women don't lose sleep over putting a guy in the friend zone. What actually stings them is when that same man refuses to stay there as a permanent safety net. Once their first choice guy disappears, the friend zone isn't some innocent just friend space. It's a carefully curated backup plan. Think about the pattern. The man is kept close enough to provide comfort, validation, and those late-night pep talks when Chad is too busy living his life. He's already vetted. He's proven dependable. And he gives her that steady ego boost without asking for anything serious in return. It's a one-sided setup dressed up as friendship. When a man finally wakes up and pulls away, the woman's frustration isn't about losing a friend. It's about losing the free supply of attention she counted on. And that's why so many of these platonic dynamics quietly implode. They were never balanced to begin with. They were built on a hidden expectation that he would always be there, waiting, just in case.
Really hasn't deterred finding somebody who is serious about dating me at all.
But are they good men who will stick around in the long term? Are they the kind of guys who are virtuous? You're a very attractive girl, but
Thank you.
You're 21 years old right now,
Yeah.
right? Yes, you're going to find, you guys are beautiful women. You guys are going to find guys that want to marry you. Are they the kind of guys that are going to stick around? Are they the kind of guys that are solid?
If a woman rejects you and tries to park you in the friend zone, the smartest move isn't to argue or beg. It's to calmly step back and leave. No drama, no speeches, just a neutral. All right, cool. And you move on. That single action flips the entire dynamic. Why? Because the power she thought she had, the ability to keep you hanging around as a backup, disappears in a heartbeat. Suddenly, she's forced to see you as a man who values himself, not a free therapist or a constant cheerleader. And here's the twist most guys don't realize. Self-respect is magnetic. Walking away communicates that your time and attention are valuable. It quietly signals confidence without saying a word. Ironically, that very act of detachment often makes her more curious, because genuine self-worth is far more attractive than any desperate attempt to stay in her orbit.
Make this stuff up.
I zoned out and I thought I'd woken up in the 1950s. You can't take him seriously.
Oh, you mean in the 1950s when we had intact families where 95% of women were getting married as virgins, where families weren't being broken up, where crime was extremely low, where you only needed one income to support an entire household, where mental illness was at an all-time low?
Sir, are you married? Are you married?
Yeah, I'm married with many children.
Is your
How
wife
about you?
happy?
Oh, she's ecstatic.
No, I'm 23.
she's
I'm
gonna
a
bring
boss
me-
lady girl. It seems to
Yeah.
be driving you crazy.
Yeah.
Working, making
well, I'm
money,
just pointing
waiting
out
for the right guy to
the
come
only
along.
thing you have no arguments. You just try to assault me personally. You can try, but the truth is that I've reproduced. I am
How
married.
did I assault
do
you? I
have
asked
the
you
life.
if you're married.
No, you didn't. You were making a passive-aggressive
I mean, to be
feminine.
Wait,
fair,
how
to
did
be
I
fair,
assault
to
you?
About how
Andrew,
my
You
wife
sound
must be
miserable.
miserable.
Andrew,
Your wife must be miserable.
to be fair, Andrew is
She might
practicing
be.
what he preaches.
If you enjoyed that, then make sure to follow for daily debate content.
How most entitled modern women keep losing good men.
I have 3 kids, but 2 are grown and 1 is 13. So would I be entitled to a high value man? And I make 6 figures. I feel like I'm the exception to the rule. But
No, you're not. That's the problem. You all think you're the exception to the rule, but your life has proven to you that you're not. Were you married to their fathers?
Yes.
Okay, but you're divorced now?
Yes.
How tall are you?
5'7".
Dress size.
14. Yes.
If you worked at Walmart, would you be wanting the same kind of man you want now?
It would be in a different mind frame.
You may be in a different mind frame, but you'd still be in the same body. At the end of the day, ma'am, you ladies have a disagreement with reality. So I get that you may want them, but what does he want? That's what you ladies need to ask yourself. What
Entitlement has a way of exposing someone's true character, and the friend zone is a perfect example. When a woman expects a man to stick around and keep feeding her ego with no commitment, it tells you everything you need to know. Only men with shaky self-esteem volunteer for that role. The truth is simple. She either feels genuine attraction or she doesn't. There's no secret waiting period, no magic trick to change her mind. If she's not interested from the start, clinging to the hope that she eventually come around only traps you in a cycle of wasted effort. Relationships don't magically fix themselves over time. If the spark isn't there in the beginning, it won't suddenly appear later. Staying in a dead-end dynamic doesn't make you patient or noble. It just drains your time and energy on something that was never built to last. Walking away isn't cold. It's the clearest sign that you value yourself enough to hold out for something real.
To hear this today, but if you're dating a guy longer than like 6 months and you're posting things about him on social media and you're tagging him and he's never putting it on his page, and then you go to his page and you're nowhere to be found, honey, you might want to start asking some questions.
I'm going to tell you the truth on this one, ladies. Because for men, there are at least 200 other items that are ranked far higher in importance than social media. What I am talking about are certain actions, behaviors, and also what he is saying to you. Those are the things that are going to be indicating how he feels about you. Now, I am not completely negating social media, but I'm going to tell you that he has it ranked down here while you have it ranked up here. And that is why these types of videos on social media really get into the minds of a lot of women. And they start having these ideas come up in their mind that are actually being created by the content that they're viewing. And they have doubts then about their relationship. And that really is what's messed up.
It's fascinating how the term nice guy takes on a completely different meaning depending on when a woman is ready to settle down. In her late teens and early 20s, excitement often wins. The so-called bad boys get the prime years, the spontaneous trips, the late-night adventures, the passionate highs and lows. That's when danger feels thrilling and stability feels boring. But fast forward a decade, and suddenly the nice guy becomes the dream candidate for a husband and father. After the wild years lose their shine, the man who was once overlooked for being steady, dependable, and respectful is now marketed as perfect family material. It's not that nice guys magically became more appealing. It's that priorities shifted and security finally outranked adrenaline. This pattern isn't universal, but it's common enough to spark frustration. Many men see it as a double standard. They're expected to be patient, to wait in the background, and then step in as the safe landing spot after someone else got the best years. And while everyone has the right to grow and change, pretending this strategy doesn't exist only fuels more resentment on both sides.
For me, it is very appropriate because this is what's the problem that's happened, right? Originally, what used to happen was, all that happened was I had good promise and your dad would come and check me. The reason why you women go into... Wait, hold on, listen. The reason you women can't pick men. This is why you always pick the guys that break your hearts and that sleep
I ain't
out.
picking them guys.
Wait, hold on a second,
I don't pick them guys that break my heart. That's why I've got a boyfriend.
Okay, yeah. So let's talk about all the majority of the women that have come on this show. They keep moaning about the types of men that they got, but it's the men that you pick because you keep picking these types of men. You keep men know how to pick out the bullshit from other men. The moment we come in, listen. Every time a guy meets someone's mum, the mum loves him. Oh, he's so nice, he's so this, but he might have the worst plans for your daughter, but he knows how to sweeten up the mum. The moment the brother, the dad sees him, they know Wagwan straight away. Us men can pick out other men. So if you go and bring this guy to me, I can tell whether...
Part of this pattern shows up in how women quietly build their checklist for the man they eventually plan to settle with. A respectable college background, a clean lifestyle, no drugs, no messy social circles. Those boxes matter when it's time to choose a long-term partner. Add in a lucrative career, whether that's running a successful business or climbing the corporate ladder. And you have the profile of the dependable man who's supposed to provide stability after the thrill of the reckless years fades. And here's the kicker. There's almost always a good guy from the past who fits that exact mold. The one who admired her back in high school, stayed out of trouble, and quietly worked on himself. He's stable. He's safe. He's been waiting sometimes for years while she lived out her freedom. For men, this can feel like a bittersweet irony. The very traits that made them invisible during the exciting years are the same traits that suddenly make them desirable when commitment becomes the priority. It's a reminder that timing often matters more than character, and that waiting in the wings can come with its own cost, even if it eventually earns a place at the table.
My best friend today. To be very clear, I was cut off by one of my closest friends. This is the message that he...
Men, take this as a hard but valuable lesson. When a woman says she's not interested yet, offers friendship as a consolation prize, the smartest response is a polite but firm no thanks. Accepting that deal is like stepping onto a bridge that leads absolutely nowhere. Why? Because her words are already clear. She's drawn the boundary, and staying in her orbit only keeps you emotionally invested in something that has no future. Every text, every hangout, every friendly check-in quietly chips away at your time and self-respect. Walking away isn't cruel. It's clarity. It sends a powerful message that your attention isn't a free service and your emotions aren't for casual use. The sooner you leave a dead-end connection, the sooner you open space for a woman who actually values you as more than a placeholder.
Pause to read, and please read thoroughly.
We already read it.
So I'm going to give some context here. We're talking about my male best friend, the one that y'all saw in my moving video that moved me across the country. The one who took me to my ortho appointment till my arm got broken by my ex. The one who rented me a car when my ex totaled mine. The one who...
She was never really his friend. If friendship were genuine, she'd celebrate when he found someone special and honor the boundaries that come with a committed relationship. Real friends don't sulk, compete, or sabotage when you move forward in life. What often gets labeled as friendship in these situations is actually access. Access to his time, attention, and emotional energy without giving anything back. When he finally meets a partner and that access is limited, the mask slips. Suddenly, the so-called friend feels slighted, not because she cares about his happiness, but because the free attention supply just got cut off. True friendship is selfless. It's rooted in respect, not hidden leverage. And when someone shows that they can't be happy for your growth, they were never a real friend. Just someone enjoying the benefits of a relationship they never intended to honor.
This person held a very, very, very important place in my life.
In your pocketbook.
And it is super hurtful the way he went about it, texting me a message and then blocking me on all platforms so that I can't respond, but starting the message with, "Hey, friend."
That's what you call them, right? Friend.
So when I moved here, what, 3 weeks ago, the week before Thanksgiving, almost 4 weeks ago.
Right.
He started talking to a new girl. They were talking literally on the way to Dallas. He was talking to her. I even jumped on FaceTime, said hey to her, introduced myself, and basically was like, "Hey girl, you have nothing to worry about. Like, we are strictly platonic. This is one of my closest friends, like a brother to me. Like, my kids love him. He's been there for me through so many things.
So many financial things. I bet your kids do love him. He the bank."
She's like, "Oh, okay, whatever." Again, they had only just started talking 4 weeks ago. Apparently, she's uncomfortable with me. Mind you, me and him haven't even spoken in like a week. I could show you those messages. We don't speak every day. But when I was going through the struggle, he was there all the time.
Struggle, huh?
But ever since life has calmed down, my shit's together, he dabbles in and out. We check on each other, whatever.
Because there's no need. Why would you check on him?
So in the message it says, Camila, I guess that's the girl's name, doesn't want us to be friends at all. He wishes me and the boys well. He loves us, whatever. She's not comfortable with how me and his friendship started. So let's dig into that. How did me and him become friends? I was working in a club in Atlanta.
The fact that she's out here complaining and turning his new relationship into a story about her says everything. It's not heartbreak, it's exposure. She was benefiting from his attention, and now that it's gone, she's scrambling to reclaim the spotlight by playing the victim online. Instead of broadcasting grievances on social media, the real work would be looking inward and managing the chaos in her own life, starting with those loud kids in the background. Because the noise we hear isn't just literal, it's symbolic. It's the sound of distractions she'd rather ignore, while shifting blame onto someone who simply chose to move on.
Restaurant lounge, not even really a club. He came in, I was having a terrible shift. Me and him ended up talking all night.
That man had simp written all over his face. It was written all over his face.
I sat with him, he bought drinks. I helped a few people here and there. He tipped me like $150 at the end of the night, and we were fast friends. From there, we started going hiking. We were doing a bunch of stuff, and
She got exactly what she wanted. She played her hand, held out for the better option, and now she's upset because someone else swooped in and claimed the man she had in her sights. That frustration isn't about him. It's about her own expectations colliding with reality. The truth. It's on her now to solve her own problems. She can't rewrite the past or demand a second chance just because things didn't go her way. Meanwhile, the man she once had access to is moving forward, building a real relationship with someone who values him fully. If she truly called him a friend, she'd do the only honorable thing: bless the relationship, wish him well, and step aside gracefully. Friendship isn't about keeping someone on hold until your timing is right. It's about celebrating their happiness, even if it's no longer tied to you.
he did like me. I didn't like him.
No shit, Sherlock.
We figured that out very quickly.
We?
We. The feelings were not mutual. We weren't on the same page. We wanted different things, but we really loved who each other was, like at the core. And I wanted him to be one of my friends. He was a great person, just not a partner that I wanted.
Well, this is crazy.
Vice versa. He felt like I was a great person, a great mother, a great friend. So we literally continued just being friends. We have quite literally slept in the same room in different areas and been completely fine.
Ma'am, if he would have pressed upon you, there's a word for that. And it rhymes with grape.
I can have platonic relationships. Besides that, cutting off your friends for somebody you met 3 weeks ago, to me, is a red flag. That's something that my ex would have told me to do. That is a red flag. That is controlling. That is weird.
So your ex would have told you that, huh? So this is a pattern of yours to have financial friends.
Meanwhile, I've sat here and been your friend through multiple talking stages, multiple little relationships. When those girls disappear after a few weeks or whatever, I've been here. And you've come and you've got to cry. You got to vent your frustration. I've been here. I've been supportive of you.
She claims there's no ill will toward him, but her actions tell a completely different story. Airing out his personal business on social media wasn't a mistake. It was a choice. She didn't need to share his username or make him identifiable. She could have kept it private. This wasn't carelessness or casual venting. She knew exactly what she was doing. Every detail, every clip, every comment was designed to get back at him, to provoke a reaction, to assert control after losing the upper hand. That's the core issue here. Words and no ill will mean nothing when your actions are calculated for retaliation. What we're seeing isn't innocence. It's strategy disguised as grievance. And it's a perfect example of how ego and entitlement can masquerade as
They get into serious relationships, I back up even more.
Now you can make it more clear how platonic this thing is, meaning you have even more of an advantage because now he won't be pressing upon you for any type of reciprocation. You know, those teasing moments you would do to make him feel like he can potentially get some one day if he just give you this last $150. Now that's off the table.
We don't have to be as close as we used to be, but I shouldn't be blocked off of every platform and sent a text message cutting me off is.
This is exactly why the Passport Brothers movement stirred so much controversy among women. For years, countless guys were stuck in the friend zone, investing time, energy, and emotion into women who consistently overlooked them. But now, these men are waking up and moving on. And they're not just moving on quietly, they're leveling up. They're finding partners who are not only more attractive, but also more traditionally feminine. Women who actually appreciate their effort, respect boundaries, and reciprocate interest. Suddenly, the guys who were once backup options are thriving in relationships that actually make sense. The anger you see from some women isn't just jealousy, it's a reflection of entitlement colliding with reality. The same men they treated as placeholders are now living their best lives elsewhere. And that's a lesson that can't be ignored.
Different seasons in life, everybody's not meant to come with you. This has been the season of me losing the most friends at one time. I have basically had to cut off my father.
Cut off your daddy. Do y'all know how much it takes or how much has to go into a father and daughter relationship coming to a head? And for the relationship to dissolve. Do y'all know how much crap is taking place in this relationship?
That's facts.
It's like almost like Kamala and her daddy. What a parallel. Kamala was maybe this lady is let's keep going.
Then there's Rex, and then there was Tia. It's just like all these people that held space in my life in different ways have dissipated. And God works in mysterious ways. God works the way he's going to work. And I asked God to remove everything that was not for me out of my life. And he has done so in a huge capacity and continues to do so.
Well, good. Well, that's the reason Rex is gone.
Right.
You asked for this. Oh, so we shouldn't even need this video. Because this is actually a celebration.
Fellas, here's the reality check. If a woman isn't genuinely interested in you, her friendship usually comes with a hidden price tag. She's happy to be platonic as long as you're covering all the outings, footing the bills, and acting as an emergency financial backstop whenever she needs it. But pull back on the money, and suddenly she disappears. Calls stop, hangouts vanish, and the friend who was always available suddenly has a very convenient memory lapse. This isn't speculation. It's a pattern that plays out repeatedly. And recognizing it is part of protecting your time, energy, and self-respect. The takeaway: friendship isn't transactional, and if it feels transactional, it probably is. Value yourself enough to step away from someone who only wants access when it suits them. That's how men reclaim power in these dynamics, and why the Circle of Kings keeps sharing these truths. Hit like, share, and subscribe to stay in the loop, because every king deserves to know these hard truths.